To discuss this latest development with the Farotimi case, we're joined by legal practitioner Tunji Abdulhameed. Tunji, thank you for joining us. Let's look at his bail conditions, specifically two: submission of his passport and refraining from media interviews. On the one part, take that on, the restriction, the submission of his passport. Do you think this is a form of a restriction of his human rights, as well as asking him to refrain from media interviews, actually?
Felicity, thank you for having me. Anything that is made, any order that's made by the court regarding bail condition cannot be said to be infringement of fundamental rights. The essence of bail is to ensure your appearance in court, and which I will be surprised if you have not been granted bail today. And that condition of submission of passport and not granting the interview, for me, the only one I can see that look like probably freedom containing his freedom of expression is not granting interview. But the issue of passports is just to ensure that he would not run out of the country. So it's not abnormal in asking him to drop his passport if they think they are not sure or it's not guaranteed that it will be available. So it is not a breach of fundamental rights to say drop your passport. So it's just to ensure that it will be within reach and it will not go away. The granting the visa of asking him not to grant interview, I think it's not general. Private interview regarding the case, not granting interview generally. Granting interview on issue before the court will be seen as subjudice. Probably that's why they say you should not grant an interview on that area. So if that restriction is strictly on the case before the court, I think it's not abnormal for the court to say that.
I'm curious as to your thinking, though. For someone who says he has no regard for the judicial system, do you fear that Farotimi might not adhere to the part about not granting interviews?
That's a different ball game. It's a different case. The court has made its order. He can decide to either obey it or disobey it. If he disobeys it, that means the court can say they can institute a contempt proceeding against him, and it can even be the court will look him in a way as being disobedient to the court order and directive. So for me, it's not, the court cannot force him not to talk. If the court has made his order, so it is either for him to obey or not to obey. He has a choice. But a court of order once made, whether rightly or wrongly, must be obeyed by a law-abiding citizen. So I will expect that Dele Farotimi will obey that particular order as a mark of respect for the court.
One of the interviews highlighted the fact that some senior advocate who appeared on behalf of Dele Farotimi were removed by the court. We're asked not to be in that case. And this is a case that involves alleged defamation of a senior advocate in Nigeria. Could you clear for us? I'm sure some people have the questions as well. Why was a senior advocate not allowed to represent Dele Farotimi in this case?
It is part of our practice that once you are elevated to a senior advocate of Nigeria, you are not allowed to appear before the lower court. The magistrate court is considered as a lower court. In other words, a senior advocate will be taking himself down when he goes to magistrate court. In other words, he's going to a court of no record. Magistrate court is a court of no record. It's a summary court. And as a senior advocate of Nigeria, you have become a father of law. That does not mean you are the all-knowing of law, but you have been confirmed with the respect that you are now an elder statesman in law. So you are restricted from going to the lower court, like magistrate. Though it's debatable. Some people have argued that no, there's nothing in our law that says so. But it has been the practice since I've been in practice over 20 years ago. So, and it's been like that. Senior advocates are not allowed to appear before the magistrate courts.
All right, thank you very much for that clarification. Yeah, I'll have to leave it there and see what happens in the coming days. Thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be with you. Thank you.